Hello there, this is Cookies. I have turn 16 of Naggarond in this Warhammer modded game. So and we can see that we've been attacked by Nehekhara, so the war is on. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So first up, we get an assassination attempt, and this is a Nehekharan hero who's going to be a complete pain in the ass, I'm sure. So he has Reform 20. So he's difficult to kill. He's got Assassin 1. And he's scary. He's got Fear 5. And he's also Dominion Immortal. So I'm going to have to make sure to keep my Dominion up. Now, because of the Dominion immortality, and because he's such a good assassin, just to avoid bullshit, if I were the player, I'd probably not send this guy outside of my own dominion. But I think this border province is within his dominion. And it's just a Beastmaster with a few just a few goofballs. So this guy is plenty powerful. He's got a Soul Reaper with Consume Soul that does a life drain, and Swarm of Bites, which has a weak poison. Oh yeah, and he's got Blink. So he just shows up wherever he wants. And so he's scared off the bodyguards. They don't care. They're going to run away. Beastmaster does manage to hit him, but she does die. All right. So we lose our commander that was scripted to retreat. And then we see the Grand Army of Nehekhara. And it looks like he's decided to send his full force into the province where we thought he would just send like a raid, like one of the Lich Priests, and so we were hoping to snag one of those. But we can see in this army he's got a lot of these light archers. Some of them are set to run forward, some of them hold back. He's got 2 squads of his sacreds, and we can see it's blessed now. It's Undying +4, Undead Regeneration, and Reconstruction. So 15% regen with Sun Awe 1 on 10 hit points. They're going to be little pains in the ass to kill. And you have to kill them, otherwise they'll just regen right back up. And this is a bless that should be pretty cool for maybe some high-end thugs too, with more HP. So we see Johnny Rottenbones here. He's got 24 HP. He'll have a fair amount of regen. And these guys are not sacred. Why is it routed? Interesting. That's weird. That is weird. Huh. Maybe it's just like a visual bug. And we've got a Tomb Herald. And just a fair amount of stuff here. So these guys are in the back to catch attack rear stuff. Essentially, they behave like extra large cavalry. 11 protection. Not the killiest. Oh, this is pretty killy when it's not routing for no reason. Interesting. All right. And then he's got some chariots back here as well. So a little bit of cavalry, and then a couple of phalanxes, and then a large number of archers. So he goes ahead and kills this, loses 1 light archer. The wolves are hurt again, an old curse, so we're about to get hit by 2 more indie attacks right as war starts. We've rebought Victor's villains, and we get a Supreme Sorceress multi-hero. So this lady's pretty nice. It means we don't have to recruit one, at least for now, and she can provide us some of those benefits. Fortune Teller 14, along with a fair amount of research. And so this move I was not expecting. I was expecting him to march into Sitha, and then I could do my grand ambush on Naggarond, but this is throwing me for a loop, so I'm not going to be able to use my Corsairs in this fight. I am moving them over, though, and I'm going to bring over the Ichthids, but I can't have him threaten my new fort construction, so we're going to, as well as we can, we're going to all in on Dragon Ridge. So we're doing a little bit of cheeky recruitment, foreign rec here, and we're bringing in all the stuff we can to Dragon Ridge, and we're going to see if we can beat this army. So we bumped the PD up to 25. So it's not a full PD dump up to like 50 or something, but it should help. It's Lion Tribe, so I don't want to spend too much money on it. I don't think it's going to help that much. But it might distract his archers, is what I'm hoping for. And then we brought 300 troops to try and defend with. Now, most of the stuff is garbage. I did some reanimation, I think a turn or two ago. So I've got some Long Dead to try and help. They should be able to punch through Sana. We've got Victor's villains. They have maces. I was thinking those might be helpful. Or at least they can get shot at by enemy archers again. We've got some bleak swords. Now they have shields, so they're getting put up way up in front to hopefully catch arrows. We have some more elite troops back here. Their job is to do fighting. And then this is the main melee group. So we have 68 troops, Sacred, Sisters of Slaughter, Blackguard, all sorts of stuff mixed into here. Anything with a reasonable amount of morale. But we're going to do a heavy right flank. So the PD will be here. It can distract in the center. We're just going to try to hold the line on the left flank a little bit. So we've got some Ichthids, the bleak swords, and the villains. And then we want our hammer to be this right flank. And so we've got our death hags down here for banishment. We've got all of our elite troops down here. And we're going to try to hit them on the side a little bit. So hopefully we can chop down these sacreds. And then you can see the rest. And then we've got some more harpies for we're going to put them on attack archers, just try to distract a Bali or two so we can get in there. And then we're bringing some mages and we put some death gems on them. And this is so they can do raised skeletons a bit, at least with lower fatigue. And hopefully we can get a little bit of skelly spam going there to try and also help out. And I think that's it. That's most of it for this one. In terms of recruitment, we're getting another full suite of stuff in case we lose this battle, and we're getting a death hag. That should be enough to hold on to our cap. I think we should be able to cause a fair amount of attrition here. And we're going to go ahead and ping these underwater mercs and see just how many Tritons there are here. Because we are using some of the Ichthids here, but not all of them. So we have another 41 over here. So if this battle goes well, we might try to take Green Waters and keep trying to do that expansion. And so I think that's it for this one. So I'll go ahead and I think I'll call it for this turn. And we'll go ahead and jump into turn 17 and see if we can get Nehekhara to bite on this trap. I'm used to ending on the turn, but we're trying to do the episodes here. So for you, it'll be in just a second. All right, so I'm back with turn 17, and it looks like we do get attacked. So let's see if it's just like a ping. Nope, it's the full army. So we're gonna get a full-on battle. So you can see our all of our killing power. Unfortunately, I think I was trying to get this set up on the Guardians, but it got set up on the archer side. So I think all of this is backwards. I wanted this part down here and this part up here, but unfortunately, it's not how it got set up. But the attack archer does do okay. So it distracts only one volley. I was hoping for a little bit more. Unfortunately, our Sacreds are eating arrow fire, which is what we were trying to avoid. And you can see the Skelly spam coming in. He's doing a little bit of Scorpion spam. So you can see these little Kepra Scorpions. And they have a weak poison. Yeah, really unfortunate that I didn't line up the formations correctly. That was a pretty big mistake. Now we're just eating arrow fire in our flank rather than killing this group with like a wraparound like I wanted on the top. So let's speed it up just a little bit here. So you can see we're trying to chop through them here. They are eating banishment now. Now, Death Hags themselves, they definitely, they've got Berserker, they've got Fear and Awe. Now, Fear and Awe won't work on Nehekhara, but they do have Berserker, and they do have okay combat stats. So you can see that one, it got wounded, but, where is it? So she got wounded, she got Battle Fright, but she's Berserk, and one of them at least was able to kill the Sacred that was attacking her. So, and then after killing the Sacreds, there's a HP route. So in this one, we kill 60 of the Light Archers, we kill 47 of the Guardians, so we pretty much wipe the Guardians. Unfortunately, our positioning mistakes cost us pretty dearly. So we lose 14 of our Witch Elves, we lose 7 of our Sisters, we lose most of our Summoned Long Dead, we lose 14 of our Black Art Corsairs, but our Black Guards themselves did pretty okay. They have enough armor that they can survive the Light Archer fire. So, and again, they do fairly well at killing that type of stuff. So they got 13 kills. They only lost 7. The Bleak Swords aren't going to hold up well against Sacreds. They were meant to fight the Archers. And other than that, yeah, so we were able to defend ourselves, kill his block of Sacreds, kill some of the chaff. I think if we just positioned better, we probably could have done it with less attrition. So we might have gotten away with only 100 casualties or something instead, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'll still take the win. We were able to knock out the chariots as well. So maybe we can watch this again and see what happened to the archers. Maybe it was a replay bug. I got this loaded up on the 6.23 patch. But hopefully we can see what killed all this stuff, because we were pretty focused in on the Sacred fight. Yeah, looks like our counter archery is doing some stuff. So archery against Nehekhara isn't great. They have the pierce resistance because they're long dead. But we have enough archers that I think we were hitting them regardless, and they've got no protection. So I still wonder if this wasn't a replay bug though. Oh, did I lose track of the chariots already? Oh gosh. So let me see. Let me follow the chariots this time. I think we know what happened to the archers, but let's see the chariots. Okay, so they go ahead and charge in. And they wait, which is pretty cool. Okay, so they run into the PD and just kind of get overwhelmed. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what happens there. So pretty happy about this one. Unfortunately, I've got a fair amount of stuff here, but I don't want to get assassinated just yet. So I'm going to patrol here. But otherwise, I'm going to send stuff home, kind of. So I'm going to start collecting an army here. I'm recruiting more stuff, including more banishment. Getting this guy. I'm planning on maybe recruiting some cavalry, because these guys might do all right, especially on the flanks. Getting some more Ichthids. And I'm thinking I do want to go after Green Waters. I pinged it. It's only got 46. So it seems doable. And so we're gonna consolidate our defense rather than exploit the victory we got. We probably could push into this, but I mean we have killed all the sacreds, but again, I don't want to get assassinated. That guy's going to kill one of my commanders every turn, so I'd have to commit the death hags, and then I'd have to try and preach out his dominion. And then I don't know if his pretender's awake. I don't know if he has more stuff in his capital. So one of the things that makes it tricky to fight Nehekhara is they have very high map move. So everything they have is like 20 map move, 22 map move. So it's very, they can definitely get from, say, their capital to Nifl if they wanted to try and defend this. And then they could PD dump Barbarian PD. And I didn't feel confident that I could win that if they did that due to the attrition that we took here. And our fort just got up, so I kind of want to, like, I kind of want to consolidate this victory a little bit, and I was still trying to ramp up myself. So I'm gonna, it's a little bit easier defending, so I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna try to get some more stuff online and get maybe into these lakes and stuff like that. So normally I'd try to be more aggressive after a big one, but I think this time I'm going to try to use it to consolidate rather than exhaust myself. And so let's go ahead and jump into turn 18 and see what that brings us. And we can see that Tzeentch did indeed go and take this throne. So, all right. All right, so I've got turn 18 here. And we've patrolled out a Runebreaker on our cap. So he was probably trying to see how much stuff was running around in there. And then, again, bad events. But otherwise, I think we're doing okay. And so we're going to try to do a double push. So I'm going to send Victor's villains in here, see if there's a PD dump. And then over here, I'm going to send more of the army. So we've got stuff gathered up in Naggarond, so we can do a fair amount of sailing. So we're going to send 180 troops up into here. So we've got, I would say, a pretty solid line here. This is more elite stuff, less garbage. So we've got Sacreds and the melee variant of Corsairs on the left flank. We have the crossbows in the center with some bleak swords to try and protect them. And on the right flank, we've got executioners and some more bleak swords. So we're going to go ahead and push back into Old Giant Woods. We did manage to sneak this guy up onto Nehekhara, and we can see a Devourer of Souls. So we know he has an Awake Pretender, and we need to be pretty careful about that, especially with all of the map move that Nehekhara gets. And then we see this fort down here as well, so we need to be a little bit concerned about that as well. All right. In terms of what we're doing on our end, we're binding Shadow Imps. This serves two purposes. It gives us affordable scouts, because we have not found a scout province, and these guys are 85 gold, and I really don't want to hire very many of them. So we're going to get Shadow Imps to serve both a commander chaff role for assassins and to fulfill a scouting role, because we're going to push into enemy dominion. We're going to bring the Death Hags for this attack, and then our plan is to patrol and preach the turn after. And maybe we can catch this assassin. You can see his awful dominion. And then over here, we're doing some site searching. We just don't have the money to recruit anything here, but we are getting a Death Hag and some other stuff here. But I think, yeah, our goal here is to build a lab. And so we can, I think to avoid having to build a temple, we're going to turn this into a heretic recruitment ground, at least for now. So our plan is to get cultists and try to open up the portal. And I think that's a lot of it. And we're at 54 research a turn, which isn't good, but it's better than nothing. And we've made it up to Blood 2 so far. If we can make it to Blood 4, we can start summoning demons. And I think that's most of it for now. So a little bit of a consolidation, but we are setting up. We're also going to try and expand into Greenwater, so we're sending the Ichthids down here. We've got 59 Ichthids, or either that or 56 plus 3 commanders. We'll see if we can take out these Tritons. And then also we'll see if we can retake this province. And then from there, maybe we can raid Nephil back or something once we see what's there. And for here, this guy's got 75 patrol strength. We're going to see if we can try to catch the assassin if it does try to come down here or sneak into one of our forts and kill mages. So we're trying to prevent that a little bit as well. All right. So I think that's it for turn 18, and I'll go ahead and see you in turn 19. Okay, so I've got turn 19 pulled up, and now we're getting right around Christmas time, so the turns have slowed down a lot. I also, though, was able to pass a cert for work, so I should be able to spend a lot more time on dominions, which I'm looking forward to. So hopefully the quality of my play will start improving a little bit. We'll see, though. I do tend to make a lot of mistakes. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what we've got here. So we've launched a fair number of attacks, and then we've been hit by some endies. So let's go ahead and dive into this. In Nephil, we sent Victor's villains. And we see, I think this is probably 11 PD of barbarians. Yeah, this is probably 11 PD. So not a trivial number of barbarians. And then we've got Greenwaters here. So we've got a number of Ichthids. And then the Tritons are coming in. So I've got them on hold and attack. We do manage to hit the Merman first, so that should be good for us. They get a wrap around here, we get a wrap around here. Our big squad, I think, routes, but our smaller squad sticks around. So we actually managed to pull this one off. So we take Green Waters, and then in Old Giant Woods, we're pushing forward with our main army. We knock out the chariots. There was some stuff kind of patrolling here, probably to kill a casual raid. And we're trying to do a little bit better. So we lose one Corsair, we lose a couple of Bleak Swords, we lose an Executioner, so we lost some quality here, but we do kill 25 of his things and a little bit of PD. So we retake Old Giant Woods. We get attacked by knights. So Misfortune 2 really ramping up on me here. We get some stuff sent to Spring Bay, which is our new fort. So that's kind of nice. Do both of these go back to Spring Bay? No, just the one. We lose some Dominion. Barbarian scouts have been found. Oh gosh. So we get attacked by knights. They kill that PD. We killed the dogs on our capital. Let me see. Barbarians. Oh, so this is in our troglodyte province. I was planning to recruit a few of these guys, so I have one for PD, I guess. But I'll have to try and make it back to him. All right. So for turn 19, we did manage to take Green Waters, which is really nice. I can't really do anything about Tyranier. Of course, it was on my one Glamour gem. So we'll have to figure something out there. We don't find anything with our site searching. We're going to send this lady out site searching, but this one's going to go ahead and research. We're going to start getting our first pleasure cultist. We're getting some ichthids. I think we're kind of off to the races with the ichthids. We're going to go fetch all the ones that ran away. And then I think we're sending a bonus commander over here in case this guy gets assassinated. And then we're going to go ahead and patrol and preach here in case the assassin was laying in wait in Old Giant Woods. And we're recruiting an assassin. We're hoping he can kill the two knight commanders here. And then he will assassin expand our cap circle back, which should hopefully be like a low commitment. And then we're recruiting some of these Cold One Knights to add a little bit of punch to our attack. And they come with a falchion. They have a large number of slashing attacks per square, so they can be pretty killy. And it would potentially put a little bit of pressure on maybe like his archers or something. So yeah, I think that's what we're doing for this turn. We're still trying to kind of like reconsolidate. He's got 120 units here with his Pretender. The Pretender is going to be probably a pretty big pain in the ass to deal with. So I'm going to try and be cautious and just try to keep ramping up stuff. He doesn't have to pay upkeep for units, so he's going to be able to sink more gold into units than I will. But if I can get some infrastructure up behind this, I'll be able to replenish my units faster than he will, is my thought. And so I can just trade into him, and hopefully we can, especially with some raiding, using this lake, we can try to raid into Akkerjab and stuff like that. And hopefully we can get a hold of things. And I think that's it for this one, for turn 19. We're not doing terrible on time, so I'll try and do turn 20 as well, which is my current turn. All right, and here's turn 20. So we got an unknown beast in Ensorcelled Swamp, and then we got attacked by barbarians there. So let's see how we do. I think we had a warning about this, so we increased the PD here. This was one of the ones where I wanted to try and hold on if I could. You can see the monster here. It's a basilisk with a gaze of death, which is pretty cool. So the lizardman PD wallops one of the barb squads, and I think they kill the commander, which is why the other squad routes just in time. So we get a little bit lucky there, but we wipe that. We only lose one feral cold one, so pretty good. And then we flip the Dominion in Old Giant Woods, which is good. And let's see. And so we've got our assassin now. He's sneaking out. He's going to try and kill these knights, the knight commanders. We are blood sacking. We're trying to push our Dominion down at him so we can control that, but we're not trying to push our Dominion into Ballin, so we haven't even built a temple here. And so a little bit of that is just keeping our Dominion over our territories. We've got a fair amount of Dom pressure from Tzeentch. He's got temples on our border. He's got this throne. So we want to kind of keep up on here. This is a lot of troops, actually. But maybe he's just hoping to fort this throne. I'm not sure. We do have a nap with him, so hopefully he'll honor the nap. And then let's see. So we'll finish our heretic. We're going to get some more Ichthids. This is for taking over this province. And then we've got a fair amount of Ichthids. So we've got 36. We're going to go ahead and see if we can take High Ocean. Clear that lake. And then we're going to keep patrolling Old Giant Woods. Now we can see a lot more stuff here. 190 troops. Still has his pretender. He might try to move out at this point. He might try to push my main stack. So it might be worth trying to PD dump this, but I'm not going to. I am going to raid over here, though. I'm going to try to retake this province. And then maybe I can sneak this guy down to get that Trog out. And then I'm also going to raid forward. This lady's got 3 HP. So I'm going to take some monsters, see if we can interrupt movement. Maybe take Khorne. And then we've got a fair amount of stuff here. So, and some of this is moving out. So here we go. Here's what it'll look like. So we have that little bit of a front line. We have some banishment. I don't think this would beat his army, actually. So it might be safer if I pull this back, actually. Because especially I'm moving in some reinforcements in behind. So maybe I will do that, actually. Because I'm pretty sure he can 2-province move from Nehekhara into Old Giant Woods. Like if I were to do something like that, like go from here into a forest over a plains, it's 26 movement. Oh, maybe he can't. Oh, but wait, no, it would be, I need it to be an enemy forest, but I've got these knights here and they kind of muck up the movement. What if I was from here? No, I still, let's see, I'm trying to avoid doing the math. I haven't looked up the province movement stuff in a while. Do I have like plains, forest is kind of what I'm looking for here. So it adds 4 to the movement. So it'd be like 22 movement to hit here from his cap, I think. I don't think he'd want to do that. They have 20. These guys have 22. It's close. He might not be able to bring everything. And I'd fight in friendly Dominion. It could still be a little risky. Whereas if I move back to here, there's no risk. And I get reinforcements. I think I'll still try to hang out for a turn though. Let's see. Oh, and I guess in other news, and this is kind of like the diplomatic situation a bit. So Itza has been attacked by Khorne. And so what happened was while we were doing this, Bretonnia and Itza went ahead and 2v1'd the orcs here. And Bretonnia is sieging down the capital and it's taking a bit. But Itza got that land, and now Khorne has attacked Itza. I think Khorne is maybe like here, like to my diagonal. And so Khorne's attacked Itza, and so I've come to the arrangement, because my bless is kind of designed to kill Chaos Knights. It was specifically as heavy as it is for Khorne. So it would be kind of cool to be able to use my bless on Khorne. So even though he's being attacked, I've convinced Itza that if he can help me raid Nehekhara, and maybe we can, if we're able to kill off Nehekhara and I gain a border with Khorne, then I can help him with Khorne. And so that would help me out of this first war where I'm, because I've taken a few turns to consolidate, I'm starting to lose some of that initiative I gained by my win in Dragon Ridge. Flipping the diplomacy in my favor, because I can provide something for Itza to try and help him out of the bind he's in, because my sacreds, the witch elves, do trade fairly well with heavily armored sacreds. That's how I've designed them to fight with a big strength bless and righteous wrath. So with that kind of like promise of aid, what I need is I need a border with Khorne, and that means I have to win this war with Nehekhara. So I think what Itza's going to try to do is provide some raiding help. He's going to have to send most of his stuff to fight Khorne, but if he can help me in the raiding game, and I'm able to eventually overwhelm Nehekhara, then I can come help him with Khorne. Especially if it's like a draw. Now, if it's a very swingy war, I'm not going to get there in time. So it's going to be a pretty small commitment from Itza. Like if it's a commander and 5 Saurus Cav doing a raid, then that does just fine. And as long as I'm tying down Nehekhara's armies, Nehekhara is not going to be able to maybe counter raid as much as he necessarily wants without me being able to apply more pressure. So that's kind of the column diplomacy here. I chat with False God pretty regularly. I like coming to win-win arrangements in diplomacy, and he tends to, he wasn't willing to trade me any boosters last game, but he is pretty amenable to coming up with like a win-win diplomatic agreement. So that's kind of our plan here. Is if he can help me a little bit with Nehekhara, then potentially I can help him with Khorne, and I'd actually get to use the bless the way I designed it on Khorne. And for my sacreds to be most effective, I'll be wanting to do that war before battlefield wipes come online for Khorne. So it's kind of like a window where I couldn't fight a first war with Khorne without getting overwhelmed, but maybe a second or the first half of a third war I could before battlefield wipes come online. And so this kind of diplomatic agreement would let me use my bless the way I built it, for maximum effectiveness. And then I would have to try and transition into the mid game. And at that point, it would probably make sense for us to fight a war, because somebody's going to want to own the column at that point. But we'll have to see what the Diplo looks like at that point. But yeah, so a little bit of a trying to come up with win-wins in diplomacy to keep things going smoothly. Bretonnia should be concerned enough about Khorne that I don't think he'll want to, unless it's in a vulturing capacity, I don't think he'll want to just come over and kill me. We've been fairly friendly too. And then I don't think, I mean, he might feel okay with it, but I don't think Tzeentch will want to trade sacreds into me. We've been chatting a bit too. My bless would work fairly well on them, but I don't want to branch out into this column and gain a border, like a big border with Kidzin. I don't think I'd really want that. And I don't think I'd want to get in between Kidzin and Distant Horizon. They had that long hell war in the previous game, playing Man and Asphodel. They're in the same column again. I'm sure they don't want to fight right off the bat again either. But yeah, this is a pretty competitive column. I think it might also have, I forget who the other, oh, we can see an orc flag here. So this, I believe this would be Stonetroll. So there's two orcs in the game. There's Chazzy, who's playing these orcs. There's Stonetroll. And Stonetroll's had my number too. So I don't think I'd want to be in this column for a while if I can help it. So I think I'd rather branch into this column if I could and try to use my bless on Khorne. So that's a little bit of the diplomatic situation. So I might get some raiding pressure and help from Itza. Probably not a lot, but maybe enough to keep Nehekhara defensive. And then we're going to move some more stuff here. So we've got some knights now. We can finally join this guy into a squad of other knights. Although he's got an affliction, a limp. But, you know, we can try to join him up. And then this turn, we're getting a couple of Corsair captains and a bunch of Corsairs. The melee variant with 2 slashing attacks. And maybe we can use them next turn to raid Akkerjab. And maybe we can move our army into Akkerjab. I don't know, we'll see. Or we could use it to reinforce Old Giant Woods. But it would make some sense here to pull back, because then I could attack into Old Giant Woods. So if I go here, then I for sure preserve my army, and then I can merge all this stuff together. And then if I were to push into Old Giant Woods, I could push with a bunch of new Corsairs. Or I could keep preaching here. But yeah, I don't think I want to lose my army to this pretender, this devourer of souls. So I think I'll pull back, actually. It's probably a little bit safer. And then we have the slightly smaller raid. So this raid, so I pulled the archers from this guy. And I pulled a few, the spearmen at least, just to hold the barbarians in place. I'm going to do a little bit of a raid here. So we've got hold and attack Corsairs, some Dread Spears, and we've got some archers. And we'll see if we can raid Nifl back. And then we'll see if we can raid his cap circle a bit with some of these cold ones. So the Sea Dogs have 12 combat speed. The cold ones have 16 and 18. So the Sea Dogs, I'm hoping, will provide a little bit of an HP sink for the cold ones. And hopefully they can go snipe the commander. Then we've got just a little bit of garbage out in front of the commander. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's it for this one. So yeah, we'll go ahead and rejoin with our main stack. And then try to see what noise we can make. But yeah, hopefully we can start getting the other mechanic going, because I do want to be able to show that off if I can, even if I die fairly early. So I think it's this site. So it's the pleasure cult site. So I think at like level 1 or level 2 you can get these advocates and these marauders, and you have to be careful mixing them with your cane stuff, because they'll kill each other apparently on site, and the sacreds will trade into these guys, and it's like it's a whole mess. But these, I don't think the Blackguard or sorceresses will care. But yeah, let me pull that up again. So yeah, you can get these Marauders of the Serpent. So they have okay protection. They have a nice bludgeoning attack with a Morning Star. You can get these guys with axes, and they have throwing axes. So you can get some recruitable Marauders. They have Pillager, Ambidextrous, +2 attack versus shields. So they could be alright versus... They don't have high enough morale, I think, to work too well into Sunna, but they might work well in Nehekhara and Spearman. And then you get these Marauders of Slaanesh, or Marauder Hellstriders. Marauder Hellstriders, here we go. They're very expensive, but they have a Hell Scourge magic attack, which has a minor life drain, and it's armor negating life drain. But for this, it's +2 attack versus shield, so it's a 11 attack, 15 damage slashing attack. So that can be pretty good. And then a poisonous whip tongue. Now, poison isn't really going to do anything against the Nehekhara troops, so this probably wouldn't be super useful versus them, but it's a length 5 weapon. So it could be reasonably good against knights. If we were to potentially fight Ballin or something, because you got 2 length 5 weapons. I don't think they trade great into knights. They don't have enough protection, but they might do alright. And then they could be fairly good for anti-thug duty. And then we get these Anointed of Slaanesh. They're also heretics. They have awe. They get a 20 damage slashing dread sword, and they have a shield and really good protection. So these are pretty good. And they also have 150 leadership, so they're good generals. Unfortunately, they didn't... I don't think Sombre did the leadership buff towards them in terms of like alt path stuff, so they only have 10 undead leadership, and it'd probably be nice if they had like 40 so that they could actually lead demons. And then we have the Slaaneshi sorceress, who's also a spy and heretic and stuff like this. And another thing too is if I get enough of these guys, I could potentially go and do the unrest action mechanic with the pleasure cultists, because they're reasonably stealthy. So if I send a few of them here, I could like shut down this fort or something. So, and they provide some research. They're not great at it, but I mean, they'll try and help a little bit. So, I don't know. We got some plans. So, yeah, I think that's it for turn 20, and I'll go ahead and see you in the next one. Have a good one.